This is the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast. Here's Rick Ucchino and SP3 on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Those crazy bastards. Can't believe they did it. What an amazing announcement we got on Wednesday. SP3, can you believe it? Your boy Bully Ray's going to be on the Broken Skull Sessions. Congratulations, man. I know you're really, really looking forward to that. That was huge.
No, he's kidding with you, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk about the big news that happened on Dynamite. It's going all over social media. It's going to be on your social media. It's going to be on my social media. It's going to be on a million people's social media. The big announcement made on AEW Dynamite last night. Yes, it's true, ladies and gentlemen. Hook is on the Revolution buy-in. Yes, we get to see Hook on Sunday against QT Marshall. Match of the year.
See, for a second there, I thought you were no-selling me. Like, just completely no-selling me. And no, instead, you just one-up my ass. That was incredibly well done. Welcome into the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast. An absolutely stacked card for AEW Revolution. We're going to obviously talk about the tremendous show that was Dynamite last night and the actual true thing that everybody's going to be talking about today, which is Tony Khan purchasing Ring of Honor, and maybe more importantly than that, purchasing that library, the Ring of Honor library that is 20 years deep. Man, might need a place to stash that. Maybe, just maybe. We'll talk about that coming up in here in a little bit. We're going to talk about Dynamite last night. Final pieces moving into place ahead of a very stacked Revolution card. Going to try and stay as much away from talking about the card as possible because tomorrow, 7 a.m. here on the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast channel and the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast YouTube channel, our big AEW Revolution prediction show with Graham Matthews of Bleacher Report will drop. Looking forward to this. Of course, BNR Live will be carrying the pay-per-view this weekend. No streaming service announcement, unfortunately. I was hoping that was going to be the case for this weekend. But again, that would not happen. I know it's not a smart business decision, SP3. Can I just selfishly hope for things? Am I allowed to just hope for things? You just like to just ruin my fun. Always get out of here with your facts and your realism. I don't need that shit in my life. I would have preferred to have watched Revolution on HBO Max for a subscription that I have already paid for this month, as opposed to shelling out $49.99. But I know Tony Khan's.
Yeah, because your selfishness and the fact that you don't want to give your money to this card that you just said was exceptional, was great. You don't want to spend money on that. I willingly give AEW my money because I usually get a good payoff for my money. I get a full night of great professional wrestling, and I think that's what people should expect at Revolution.
You got to understand something, all right? Like, I could go to Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I could shell out $75 for the best damn steak I've ever ate in my life, and it would be worth every penny. And then about an hour after I ate that steak, I would sit there and go, damn it, did I really just spend $75? Like, that's how much I hate spending spending money, period. So it doesn't matter what I'm spending my money on, whether it was worth it or not. There's still going to be that moment of depression afterwards.
Hey, I just see it as 2 smack talks that I'm doing for free. 2 smack talks that I'm giving to AEW, basically. So for the next 2 times I'm on Smack Talk, I will just be talking about AEW Rampage because all that money goes to AEW anyway.
We don't give them free publicity on this channel. Anywho, we got a lot to get into today. Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor, obviously a great show last night on Dynamite, but got a few housekeeping items to take care of here. First things first, football season, sadly, yes, it is over. Baseball season, hell if we know if it's ever going to get underway, but basketball is here to save the day. It is in full swing, both pro and college hoops. All the latest odds, totals, player performance prop to where the next coach fired is going to land. Bet Online, the number one spot for your sports betting needs. Head on over to the website. Use your mobile devices to sign up today. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code Bleav to get started. That is BLEAV. And it is not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, UFC odds. It is the best in the business. Sports, right down to your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline is your number one online wagering destination. The fastest, easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts. Had a big interview drop earlier, yesterday, actually. Keep thinking it's still Wednesday, but yesterday it is live right now on the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast and the YouTube channel with Jimmy Wang Yang, his first interview since his exit from WWE in early December. He had about a 6-7 week tryout as a WWE producer, detailed his time there, talked about why he was not retained, why he believes them. I did a write-up for Cage Side Seats where I did a deep dive into the fourth quarter earnings to kind of back up Jimmy Yang's claims on that. Don't have a whole lot of time to get into that today, but it's up there on Cage Side Seats right now for SB Nation if you're interested in looking into that. Talked about the guys that he really enjoyed working with and that really impressed him backstage, including Big E and Seth Rollins. There's a lot. We went 40 minutes. 40 minutes. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Talking about his daughter, Jazzy Yang, and how he's now transitioning from father and trainer into a fan of his own daughter. That is a really, really cool thing. And as a former training partner of hers, that makes me smile a lot as well. And I'm looking forward to her career blossoming. So that is up there right now. Also, next week, here on the Bleav in Pro Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel, I will be having a conversation with Corey Graves and Carmella. That will be dropping. Yes, we're going to be talking about that. What would you call it? Basically, it's like a softcore porn show that they got up on.
Talking about sex, baby. They're talking about you and me. They're talking about all the good things, all the bad things. Sex, baby. It's all about sex. He's talking about Corey and Carmella having sex.
Oh God! To just be one of the camera guys on that show had to be extremely interesting. We're gonna talk about that. Carmella's on the WrestleMania card. We'll talk about that as well. We'll dive into Corey Graves being cleared as well. A lot to get into with those two. So that's going down tomorrow. We'll drop that next week. And believe me, there's plenty more coming down the pike. I'm going to be in Dallas for WrestleMania weekend. So much more is coming to the Bleav in Pro Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. By the way, check out my pinned tweet at Rick Ucchino, RICKUCCHINO. Follow the instructions. You got, 3 days? 3 days left to register to win $50 to AEW shop AEW. $50 free cash money. Just follow the instructions on my pinned tweet. Like, subscribe, retweet, all of it. Retweet, whatever I tried to say. Do it all. Is that everything? I think I got. Okay. Let's talk about this. Lead story. SP3, Tony Khan. A lot of speculation, not a lot of facts leading up to the announcement. Even the big boys didn't know. The Sean Ross Apps of the world, the Cassidy Haynes of the world didn't know until about 10 minutes before the show went on the air that they finally got the official word what the announcement was going to be. Tony Khan opens up the show with Tony Schiavone, and he looked like he hadn't slept in days, but he looked giddy as a schoolgirl. And I don't know what it is, man. He's always really good on his tape segments, but he just never looks comfortable when he's live in a ring on TV. He just doesn't. He doesn't have the presence Vince McMahon does on a microphone, but he's only been doing it for a few years, so he'll get to that point. But man, he dropped the bomb. He now owns Ring of Honor. The Shane McMahon drop and everything. He had the presence of mind to drop that bad boy, which was a nice little callback there. Your initial reaction, you've had some time to stew on it now. This is a big effing deal.
It is. It's an entire company that has so much history and so much connection to AEW. In a lot of ways, ROH was the alternative to WWE when they really needed an alternative. For someone like me that was a teenager when Ring of Honor started in 2002 and, started to grow in 2003 to 2005, I was kind of disconnected from WWE. And when I watched Ring of Honor for the first time, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like that underground feel that ECW had, but you saw like state of the art wrestling, like you would see with a Chris Benoit versus a Eddie Guerrero, or a Kurt Angle versus a Chris Jericho. You would see that type of work rate, but it had that gritty feel to it at the same time. So it kind of spoke to that kind of 18 to 34 type of demographic that AEW kind of goes for nowadays. That's what Ring of Honor really was about. And just to know that, someone that was a fan of Ring of Honor, just like me in Tony Khan, has purchased them and got that tape library, I feel like this is a big move. This is not a checkmate type of move, but he definitely is in position where his next move is to check. This is a big chess piece to move on the table, because this tape library, 20 years of tape library of all these stars that are in AEW, all these stars from outside, all these stars that are in WWE currently. And they have all of that now. And most importantly, they have the origin story of AEW, and that's All In. I say, like, I'm all for, them using this tape library and what they have accumulated as All Elite Wrestling to go to a streaming service, maybe an HBO Max, because they have that connection with Warner Media, or another one who's kind of like maybe a lower level that they want to kind of bring up and make AEW its main thing. It can be something like that as well, but they have the kind of the library and the catalog to do that now. So this is very important. But All In, I say put it up on AEW's YouTube channel, or put it up as a special on like TNT, TBS. Talk to them like, oh, we got our specials, 4 times a year. We just want a special to just show All In. Like, All In is something that has been so important to AEW, but something they have never owned, and now they own that. So they have the complete story of AEW now, and I feel like this is a crucial move. It might not be big to a lot of like the WWE fans or the anti-AEW fans, but let's be honest, no move would have been big enough for those people. But if you are
they could have brought in Bray Wyatt, right? And even the most hardcore Bray Wyatt, another WWE guy,
yes. They could have brought in Bray Wyatt, brought back Cody Rhodes, stole Stone Cold Steve Austin, and said they're going to have a show across the street from WrestleMania on the same night as WrestleMania. And they would have been like, oh my God, it's all about WWE. They would have had something to say. Like, you have to ignore that crowd, because they're always going to nitpick this move. But someone who's thinking about it as business and knows that there's a move to set up the next move, you understand how big this is.
Yeah. And, you talk about the past, right? And the 20-year rich history that Ring of Honor has. And this is obviously about preserving that and making sure, if you get that streaming service, that it's not buried somewhere. It's out there for the audience to go back and enjoy and watch Brian Danielson, excuse me. And you can watch Brian Danielson and Christopher Daniels 20 years ago. They put on a banger in the opening match tonight, which was a fantastic callback. Tony Khan gets it, man. He just absolutely gets it. It was very.
Look at how we started the show with that representative of the first show, and we ended the show with Hangman Page, Red Dragon, and Adam Cole, representatives of like the next decade of Ring of Honor.
He's a fan. He's a businessman first and foremost. And he's a fan, and he loves this, and you can tell that. And I respect the hell out of Tony Khan, because I don't know where this man finds the time to do everything. Like, how does this man? He runs a football team, not very well, mind you, but thankfully he runs wrestling better than he runs the Jaguars. He has a soccer team. I don't know how good they are. I don't know how
he inherited the football team. He's not running it. He's not running it, to be fair.
Works in the front office. Okay?
He does analytics. That's what he does.
He's not good at it. Okay. He's not good at it. Jaguars suck. I don't know how good the soccer team is, but now he's running AEW, and
he doesn't do that well. This is the only thing he does well.
He's got wrestling down. Football, whether it's the one you hold or the one you kick, he ain't got shit on that. But as far as wrestling goes, he's great. Now he's going to have another company to run. And you talk about the history, and it's great that he's going to preserve that. But this isn't Vince McMahon buying WCW to kill it. he's going to keep Ring of Honor alive in some way, shape, or form. It's going to move forward. They're going to have shows. They're going to be AEW talent involved with that. And Cassidy Haynes of bodyslam.net says that he reported just before we started this recording. Let me try and find it here. That AEW plans to utilize Ring of Honor as a developmental territory of sorts, and said that main roster AEW talent will be dipping into the Ring of Honor brand on occasion. So that is a very, very smart move to take an established brand like Ring of Honor and basically turn it into your NXT. All these people who have been buried on Dark and Dark Elevation, people who don't tune into those YouTube shows, now all of a sudden they have a bigger platform to where they can go and they can perform and they can be on television. That is a really, really, really big deal. We've talked about they have a deep roster and they need a spot for all these people. Here's a brand new spot. And they don't have to build anything from scratch. It's the foundations are there. Now they can improve upon it.
And this is also something like if they're using it as a developmental, they can go back to what NXT was before. And when they do eventually go to a streaming service, they can have a weekly show of ROH, of Ring of Honor television, and you can kind of interplay. And the guys like Jay Lethal, now we kind of see, I think that this was all a part of the plan. Like someone like Jay Lethal, who people have been complaining, oh, where's Jay Lethal? Where's Jay Lethal? Well, he's been working at training the younger talent in AEW. Why has he been doing that? And he's a guy that's so connected to Ring of Honor, and now all these young guys that want to groom and they want to get experience are going down to Ring of Honor. I think Jay Lethal's going with them, and he's kind of going to be that kind of mentor or that face of that Ring of Honor. And you got Jonathan Gresham, who's the Ring of Honor world champion still, and he said he wants to stay connected to Ring of Honor. He didn't know what was going on,
and he was backstage recently in AEW, and a few other Ring of Honor talents have also been backstage in recent weeks.
Josh Woods has been appearing on Ring of Honor. Deanna Purrazzo put out a tweet because she's the current ROH Women's Champion. We've been hearing the Briscoes for weeks cutting promos on Tony Khan saying who you going to have call up us. So we've been seeing all the breadcrumbs. We've been seeing all the clues. It's been right in front of our eyes, but we didn't want to believe it, or we didn't think it was possible. Or then there's the group that thinks it's not a big deal, but it is. Like this, you have all this talent that are free, that contracts are free. And if they're going to use Ring of Honor as like an independent and a developmental, they can kind of use all these guys that were just in Ring of Honor to kind of get it running. But this Super Card of Honor, now something that AEW, when Cody was around, Cody said firmly that AEW would have no involvement with WrestleMania weekend. But this move, a month out before WrestleMania, the day after Ring of Honor announces they're getting, Alex Zane and Swerve gonna come in for their show in Dallas. Now AEW, in a way, has a show during WrestleMania weekend, the night before, the same night of SmackDown, and your Hall of Fame for the I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, now that AEW has bought Ring of Honor, I don't understand why you're gonna go to SmackDown and celebrate the Undertaker for the 47th time. Go to Ring of Honor, because something big is happening on this show. You might see some main AEW guys on ROH show. This makes that show even more exciting.
And there's a lot of them that are going to be in town. If you've looked at the WrestleCon lineup, a lot of AEW talent in there, a lot of Ring of Honor talent on that list.
John Moxley is headlining GCW, so he's going to be around. So
here's the funniest thing. You bring up Cody. You talk about AEW not having any involvement in WrestleMania weekend. The full circle funny part about that is Cody Rhodes could be at WrestleMania wrestling for WWE the same weekend that there's an AEW event WrestleMania weekend.
The same weekend that Tony Khan purchases Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, the same Ring of Honor that offered Cody a front office job before he left in 2019 to start AEW. That Ring of Honor, Tony Khan doesn't know it. But this is also a shot at Cody.
Just a fantastic start to what was another really rock solid Dynamite. Again, you had the huge announcement that sent shockwaves across the wrestling world. Tony Khan buying buying Ring of Honor. Then you have the very poetic opening matchup, which had a phenomenal damn finish. I mean, that was just insane. Bryan Danielson's on another level right now. And Christopher Daniels, by the way, having that good of a performance when he's still dealing with an eye injury is insane and a credit to him.
At 51 years old.
Like when he came out, I'm like, my God, has it been that long since we've seen him on WWE TV? Not the only return, by the way. Excuse me, AEW. Not the only return that we saw last night, by the way. Top Flight back together.
Darius Martin showing out in that battle royal. Like I know there were some people that didn't enjoy the battle royal last week, but this week, I'm sorry, that was even better. Like that was just the way they do the casino battle royale. It's an element of the Royal Rumble where they can highlight some people with their interests or highlight them with a little quick sequence. But this one was a lot of fun. Darius Martin and Top Flight overall, Dante Martin as well, they got over in this match in a big way without even winning. We got the predictable but logical winner of the Young Bucks to set up what's going to be an absolute banger. Like, I think the biggest conversation out of Revolution ain't going to be like any like big debut or big angle. I think the big conversation is people arguing what was the match of the night.
And that's always a good thing coming out of a pay-per-view. Again, we'll break down that match and all the rest of the card in its entirety on tomorrow's big AEW preview show with Graham Matthews of Bleacher Report. So make sure to check that out again, and that'll drop tomorrow at 7 a.m. Yeah, I like the Casino Battle Royale. And here's the thing, AEW, Tony Khan and AEW deserve a lot of credit because Darius does not get the kind of pop that he got tonight if they did not spend the time building up Dante Martin while he was on the shelf. And this is something that as far as WWE is concerned, that I have heavily criticized them before in the past. What happened when Jeff Hardy got hurt? They took Matt Hardy off of television. They couldn't find nothing for Matt Hardy to do on television while Jeff was gone. One of the best creative minds in the world. It's like when they were doing that solo run with Jey Uso, they don't do that. They don't do that. And we praise WWE for doing that, for elevating Jey Uso to that level while Jimmy was gone. And now Jay's right back to where he was beforehand. But at least at the time, they decided to go, hey, why don't we do something we don't ever do and elevate that talent? This was a really smart move by Tony Khan, and it really helped get Darius over, even though he's been gone for how long has he been gone? A year now?
Almost a year, yeah. Yeah,
almost a year. So I really love that. I'll say the highlight of that match, though, by the way, was Max Caster. He wasn't in the match very long, but man, for a guy who had to get edited last week with his rap, he
came back with probably his best one.
He redeemed himself. He redeemed him. I almost fell off my couch laughing when he dropped the Glenn Jacobs line.
He said he was gonna send FTR to ROH. He made a Euphoria reference with Pop Me, and then the line saying you all are less popular than Glenn Jacobs tweets. Oh my God. I was like, bravo. That's how you come back from an edited rap.
Yep. And then he was promptly eliminated, and Anthony Bowen showed out in the match. So the Acclaimed has everything. They bring the entertainment. They bring it in the ring. One of these days, they will win the tag team titles, and it'll be a really, really good day. But the other thing that these last two battle royals have showed you, if you didn't already know, my God, the depth of the tag team division
and how over they are. Because you can have a bunch of tag teams. It's one thing to have a bunch of tag teams, but how over most of them were when they came out. Top Flight got a pop, Santana and Ortiz got a pop, Best Friends, FTR, Red Dragon later in the night, Young Bucks. So yeah, the list goes on. Like there's a lot of over tag teams in this tag team division where you can kind of intermatch, and a different champion creates so many other different matchups out of that, where I'm interested on the result of Revolution.
Yeah, you brought up Santana and Ortiz. We're going to talk about them coming up here in just a few minutes. But first things first, SP3, I always ask you, every show, I ask you the same question. What's more important than peace of mind? And the answer never changes. It's nothing. And that's what NordVPN is here for, to give you peace of mind while you're online. And with all of the threats that you face today on the internet, it is more important than ever to be sure that you have the best VPN that you can get. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity, the most service, and next-gen encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Plus, you can use NordVPN on all of your computers and devices, no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's unlimited bandwidth, you never have to worry about a slow connection either, and plans start at under $4 a month. So grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/Bleav or use the promo code BLEAV to get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan plus one additional month free. It is also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee.
It's time to answer the 5 count on the Bleav Podcast Network.
So last week on our Thursday show, we gave absolutely rave reviews to MJF's promo. Very deep, from the heart, left CM Punk speechless. A week after Punk left MJF speechless. This week, we get Punk out there, and he cuts a very real promo talking about all of the just nasty shit that he's done in his history in pro wrestling. A lot of really nice callbacks there. Again, I think CM Punk is the one of the best when it comes to using history to drive home a story in the present. Talks about looking in the mirror, asking himself whether he's the good guy or the bad guy. Calls MJF out to have that heart-to-heart. Says, look, I'm going to try here. Goes to shake his hand. MJF bypasses the hand and gives him a big old hug, which I'm sure in that moment, that was 11-year-old MJF doing that in real life. They hug it out. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and I swear to God, the whole time, I'm watching his right knee. I saw it coming. I'm like, he's going to kick him in the balls. Or I thought he was going to knee him in the balls. I thought that was the direction they were going to go. Then they actually uncoupled, whatever you want to call it. And then he kicked him kicked him right in the balls. Here comes the chairman. Here comes Wardlow. They beat the holy piss out of CM Punk. They bloody him up with the Dynamite diamond ring. They hang him over the ropes with the dog collar. He's wiping the blood. That's why they're all wearing white, just wiping the blood off of his shirt. From the time that these two first got into the ring, SP3, and didn't even say anything, CM Punk walks down to the ring, he stares down MJF, and he leaves without saying a word, and you knew this was going to be good from the get-go. From that moment to last night, I'm already willing to call it. The build up to this match at Revolution, I think that CM Punk and MJF has been the best rivalry in AEW to date. So this question is all for you. Is it the best rivalry so far in AEW history, or is there one, maybe even two or more that you would put above this?
Right now, I have it at number 2. 2, yes, I would skyrocket it up because the last couple of weeks have just been on the money, from MJF beating CM Punk to, the next week with Punk and Moxley beating FTR in a great match. Yep. The opening segment with MJF with the over-the-top entrance, kissing the two girls, the dog collar promo by CM Punk bringing up their history, that MJF promo, which I put on the level of the Austin 316 promo and Dusty Rhodes Hard Times last week on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. So yes, I am very high on this feud, but Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega had a 3-year story. They had a 3-year story that literally started from the rally. From the rally that announced the company, when Hangman said, I'm going to become the first ever AEW world champion. And that became a mission statement for him. And basically how Kenny Omega got involved is they both failed, and by mutual failure came together as AEW World Tag Team Champions, had arguably the best reign as AEW World Tag Team Champions, despite half the time half of the fans telling them they're not even a real tag team. You got the best tag team division. They're not a real tag team. They're two singles guys. Yet they're having great matches on every single episode of Dynamite and pay-per-view. They lose the titles. You don't even get a rematch. They just break up after that. They have a banger of an opener at Full Gear. And then you get the year-long story of Hangman Page trying to trust people again by his friendship of the Dark Order, trying to get his confidence back again with wins over Matt Hardy, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, before he's able to even challenge Kenny Omega. And then when you think you're going to get the title match, they take it away again, and he loses the 10-on-10. He goes and has to regroup once again, has his first child, returns to one of the biggest pops in AEW history, and at the casino ladder match on the second anniversary show, wins the shot at Full Gear. The promo, the cowboy shit promo, which was one of the best babyface promos, not just in AEW history, in all of wrestling of the past decade, in my opinion. And then you have the match at Full Gear, which is, in my opinion, the best AEW main event on pay-per-view of all time. Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega at Full Gear, because we've seen that completely. I get to tell that whole story here in a couple of minutes on Bleav in Pro Wrestling. That's completed. That's number one. I don't know if Sunday is the completion of the story, but depending on if that match is better than their first match, MJF and CM Punk could probably get up to that number one spot.
I mean, when you're comparing the two, and I would agree with you, that would be in my top two for sure. When you're comparing the two, it comes down to, does longevity outlast what has been a brilliant flair the last few months, right? And it's a tough call, man. It's a tough call, and maybe I'm just falling in love with the recent. Maybe I'm a victim of that.
I mean, I not to interrupt you, but if I'm gonna give Flair feuds the leg up and make them number one, I mean, Eddie Kingston got about 2 or 3 of those. Like Eddie Kingston, CM Punk in 2 weeks is in my top 5 AEW feuds of all time. CM, and what people forget, Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, that was a fire feud and won Feud of the Year in multiple publications, and that was only a month or 2 month long feud. That was a Flair feud that's up there in the top 5 as well. But I put this at number 2 because we haven't seen it completed yet, but based on the promo work, based on the match, based on all the build up and all the promos leading up, this is probably the best promo work of any feud in AEW history.
Oh, Eddie Kingston won't like that. Did you see?
Yeah, I know. I know. I saw them disrespect Eddie. How you leave Eddie off of Mike Doles? Mike Doles, come on. He had about 2 of them. Him and CM Punk is the best Mike Dole that I literally showed that to one of my friends that's a casual fan. And he was like, yo, I don't even know if what I'm watching. He was like, am I watching wrestling? This feels real. He was like, I felt like I was seeing an argument on the street. Like that was one of the realest promo exchanges in Mike Doles. How dare you, AEW, leave that off your award?
I just love his tweet. If you did not see Eddie Kingston's tweet to AEW's top 5 promo duels that left him completely off the list.
At Inner Circle twice. Disrespectful.
F that. I'm sorry. Just F that. I mean, Jericho's not a bad promo, but come on. What are we doing?
His promo exchange with Eddie Kingston last week was better than the 2 that was there.
Dude, like, AEW leaving Eddie Kingston off of a top 5 promo duel is like WWE asking us what we think of Tommaso Ciampa's new theme music. Like, that's on the same damn level of just social media trolling. What are we doing? Tony Khan, before he made his announcement last night, had his media call, which I did not get to hop on because I was doing stuff.
I was there for the first time.
There you go. Very good. Very, very good. Well, you were there when he announced that Hangman, Adam Page, and Adam Cole will be the main event at Revolution this Sunday, and as well they should. It's the world title match. It's a stacked card, but your world title, that should mean something. That's going to close out the show. I don't have an issue with it. But again, we talk about it being a stacked card. And again, we'll give predictions and break everything down with Graham tomorrow. Number 2 on the 5 count is Hangman and Cole your main event. Is this the one, even though it's going on last, is this your main event this Sunday, SP3?
I mean, is it my main event? Because because I'm gonna see it last, so it is my main event. It's your main event. It's everybody's main event as long as Tony Khan makes it. What's the match I'm looking forward to the most? I would rank Cole and Hangman like 4th on this whole pay-per-view. Like I think that the most anticipated match is Punk and MJF for the work they've done, especially in the last 2 weeks. Then I would go Rosa and Baker because of the last match they had. And then I would go Moxley and Danielson because of their promo work and the in-ring work that Danielson and Moxley have shown over the last couple of weeks. That's going to be an absolute banger. But then there's Hangman and Cole, which I think is going to be as great as those 3 matches. It's just the build-up for those 3 matches has been better than Hangman and Cole. And that's not to say it's been a bad build-up. It's been solid, but it really wasn't the focus until tonight's main event. Or yes, last night's main event.
I'd almost put the tag team match ahead of it too, to be completely
Oh, damn, you're actually right. I would make it 5. I would make it 5th. 5th, yeah.
I agree with you in the case. And look, this is not a knock. This is just how well AEW has built this card. Like look
at the best pay-per-view they ever had, All Out. Kenny Omega and Christian Cage was not the most anticipated match. People were more anticipating Punk's return. People were more anticipating the steel cage match with the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. So yeah, it doesn't always have to be the main event and the world title match that's the most anticipated. It's a credit to what AEW does on pay-per-view.
Correct. I will agree with you in the sense that I don't have Hangman and Cole even close to my number 1 most anticipated match. I'm going to disagree with you on the one that I want to see the most, even though I'm just moments ago, I said it's the best rivalry. For me, it's not Punk and MJF. That's the match that I'm looking forward to the most. It's Moxley and Bryan Danielson. Like that's the match that Danielson, watching him in the ring the last several weeks, pretty much since he got to AEW, this is the best he's looked ever. And that's saying something. And John Moxley is just an effing pit bull. And these 2 dudes are going to go out there and they're going to steal the show on Sunday. I have no doubt about it. I'm looking for fire and passion and blood and poetry and a tremendous story to be told in the ring. This is the one that when Danielson showed up in AEW, I'm like, I can't wait for him to fight John Moxley. And I'm so happy we're getting it this quickly.
I think the best part about this pay-per-view is those 4, like I said, Hangman and Cole. I'd probably drop down to 5 because I don't really think Cole's gonna win. With those 4 matches that we just put ahead of it, I don't know who's gonna win for sure. I can't 100% say who I'm gonna win for sure. I'll try on our prediction show tomorrow, but it's very hard to predict those 4 matches.
And that brings us to number 3, because your girl Thunder Rosa pinned Britt Baker clean as a sheet last night. And honestly, like, I don't remember Britt getting a whole lot of offense in on Thunder Rosa. This reminds me a lot of the build to her title defense against Hikaru Shida, where it was like, oh, well, Britt Baker's never beaten Shida. She's never beaten Shida. She ain't beaten Thunder Rosa either. But they ain't focusing on that, which is interesting to me. And this booking, I don't know if weird is the right word. I don't know if odd is the right word. It's intriguing to me that Thunder Rosa gets this win on Dynamite, the go-home Dynamite before the pay-per-view, before she challenges Britt Baker. It's almost to me like she has too much momentum, and they're planning something else for the finish here. So number 3 on the 5 count. Does Thunder Rosa have too much momentum heading into Revolution on Sunday? Are you worried, SP3, as the big Thunder Rosa homer that you are, that she might not walk away with the AEW Women's Championship on Sunday?
I think Thunder Rosa pinning Britt Baker was the best move possible Tony Khan and AEW could have made, because going into Dynamite, I don't think I that was one result I could have said 100% sure. But yes, it's partly because I'm biased toward Thunder Rosa in any matchup, but just on based on the booking, because where Britt Baker's title reign was, and Thunder Rosa was the hot challenger that we all thought would eventually dethrone her. It just made sense for her to win on Sunday. But her beating Britt on this show creates a lot of doubt to that, because wrestling booking 101 teaches you if the challenger pins the champion on the go home show, they ain't winning at the pay-per-view. So now it's like, who is going to win? Are they going to try to continue Baker's title run and try to reheat it up so it ends when it's at its hottest instead of ending kind of at its flattest, like what it would be on Sunday?
Yeah.
Or are they going to put it on the hot commodity that is Thunder Rosa? Or are we building to Britt Baker versus Jade Cargill, champion versus champion? I don't know after this result. So that's why I said this was the best outcome that Tony Khan could have done booking wise to create the unpredictability with the result on Sunday.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, if you're trying to reheat up Britt Baker, really the only opponent left that you can do that with is Thunder Rosa. So this feud would have to continue for several more weeks, and then Thunder Rosa would win it on a Dynamite or a Rampage, probably a Dynamite, I would say, as opposed to winning it at Revolution.
Or at St. Patrick's Day Slam, where she beat her in the lights out match.
There you go. That would be a nice little full circle moment. But man, I know in a perfect world you want Britt's title run to end at a peak, right? But I think it's gotten past the point of no return. I think it would be a mistake to try to heat her up again. I think fans are ready for something different, and that's why Britt has cooled off substantially. That, and they really haven't. I mean, it's kind of like Roman Reigns, right? Like she's just kind of run out of people to fight at this point. The roster's not that deep, so until you add some fresh new talent and give some other people some shots at the gold, it's time to create some new matchups. It's time to create some new storylines. I think the best way to reheat Britt Baker is for her to lose and maybe just flat out get her ass kicked on Sunday. Don't try to recreate some magic lights out match sequel. Thunder Rosa kicked her ass last night. Maybe that's just what they do on Sunday, where Thunder Rosa just dominates Britt Baker and ends her title run in an embarrassing fashion for the Good Doctor, which now she has to recover and climb back up from, and that is her storyline. And whatever she has to do with Jamie Hayter and Rebel and all that stuff, because that's obviously the next line for her. But I think it's very interesting to have Thunder Rosa win in the fashion that she did last night, and I think anything's on the table for Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. I think the best thing would be for Thunder Rosa to win on Sunday, and for Britt Baker to take time off. Even the biggest Britt Baker fans I know, like Jimmy McRae on AE Ramble, he's even said he wants her to take some time off, and then she can come back and be the babyface that a lot of fans have been wanting her to be for months. So I think time off after Sunday, after dropping the gold, is the best thing for Britt.
I mean, she really hasn't taken any time off. Really? Even when she got hurt, she got the most over she's been while she was out injured with the role model vignettes and everything like that. So she's really worked her ass off since this company started. So maybe a vacation is in the works. Maybe Adam Cole loses and he takes a little time off and they can go, do whatever the hell they want to do for a couple of weeks. And Adam Cole could come back and then she can come back a few months later and all would be right with the world. Chris Jericho did have a little promo segment last night. It was all right. Setting up his match with Eddie Kingston on Sunday. That wasn't the most interesting part to me. It was what happened afterwards, because this was right after the tag team battle royal, where Santana and Ortiz lost. They were not successful. And then they show up They give Jericho the old fist bump. It's almost like, hey, we lost. We've been blaming Jericho for all of our failures as a tag team, and all of a sudden, Jericho had nothing to do with this loss. So they run right back to the inner circle. Interesting. Or are they laying a trap, SP3? So I will ask you, where do the allegiances of Santana and Ortiz truly lie? Is it with Chris Jericho or Eddie Kingston?
I think it should lie with themselves. They should be out for themselves. Santana and Ortiz should have achieved more in these first 3 years of AEW. They are one of the best tag teams that this company has, and Santana is a star. He's a single star in the making. So they need to do something with these guys. I feel like they should be in line to be one of the next AEW World Tag Team Champions. So they don't have time to deal with Chris Jericho and his nonsense and everyone he wants to feud with. American Top Team, the Pinnacle, they always have to deal with that nonsense. And Eddie Kingston doesn't do very well in not staying out of enemies' ways because he loves to get enemies, and I wouldn't team up with him unless the trios titles is around the corner. Then I would probably choose Eddie over Jericho. But right now, I think Santana and Ortiz allegiance should lie with themselves. I think that they had that embrace with Jericho because they felt like they were fighting Jericho's battles when they had to fight Daniel Garcia in 2.0. And then in that battle royal, it was 2.0 who screwed them over. They eliminated 2.0, and 2.0, after they got eliminated, cost them the matchup and had FTR eliminate them. So now they understood. They was like, all right, actually, we were wrong. That beef is actually our beef now. So you know what? We're cool. Go handle your business with Eddie. We're out of this, but we're cool.
I personally like the idea of them truly being out for themselves. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, they're not on the card this Sunday. So it would be great if they did get involved in that match and they just laid both of them out. Like, that match ended in a no contest because Santana and Ortiz just took both of them out and said, screw everybody. Us against the world kind of a situation.
No New York on New York violence. No, don't accept it. Don't accept it. Just stay out of it. Let them handle their business alone. And then we can be cool with both of y'all afterwards, but we ain't getting involved. No New York on New York violence.
It would be nice to see Eddie Kingston get a big win at a pay-per-view.
That's what I want.
That's something that's sorely needed. I don't know if I can make a call one way or the other. I think if they're going back and forth, I think maybe they choose Eddie, but it just like this card, man, it's hard to predict. It really, really is hard to predict. One quick WWE note here before we wrap up. Oh, whoops, sorry, hang on. Almost forgot. Gotta take care of some more house cleaning. Tons of people, SP3, they take multivitamins, but it is important to choose one that is top quality. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you are absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to start your day off right. Their special blend of ingredients supports gut health, your nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It is also lifestyle-friendly and fits a wide range of diets. Only 1 gram of sugar, no chemicals or artificial anything. Reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That is it. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/Bleav. That is BLEAV. Again, athleticgreens.com/Bleav. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Athletic Greens, take ownership of your health. All right, so you doing the Macarena the whole dang time I was reading that spot? Anyway, just another reason to tune into the YouTube channel as well. Click the subscribe button. See SP3 and his dancing skills. There was a report that came out today. A lot of people have been asking about some absences of WWE superstars, namely 3 big names in the women's division, Asuka, Bayley, and now all of a sudden Alexa Bliss, who is MIA. Couldn't even get on the dang show in Columbus on Monday, her hometown. SP3, did you realize there were 10 women on the show Monday, which is fantastic. That's great. I can't complain, nor will I complain about that.
Yep.
But the one you leave off is Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
Who's from Columbus. That's a decision. That's a tone deaf decision. It's almost like people forgot that she was from Columbus. You had the report from Sean Rossap that they had originally Montez Ford wrestling in Cincinnati, and then somebody told creative, hey, Dawkins is from here. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, maybe we should put him in the match instead. That's cool. That's fine. No problems there. But Alexa Bliss is now MIA, and PWI, they did some digging into this. Now, their report on Asuka has been kind of refuted there a little bit by Fightful Select, so I'm going to leave her out of this question. PWI reporting that Asuka is being kept off until after WrestleMania. Sean Ross at Fightful.com reporting that Asuka is being kept off to WrestleMania or maybe even longer because she's not readily available to the company. So there's kind of some disputes there. But PWI is saying that Bayley and Alexa Bliss have no plans leading into WrestleMania. The company has no plans for either one of them heading into WrestleMania by choice. So what is more egregious, SP3, leaving Bayley or Alexa Bliss off of this WrestleMania card, in your opinion?
Neither, ladies and gentlemen, because all I hear all the time is, oh man, these part-timers and returning stars just come back and take up a spot from someone who's been working their butt off for months upon months to get a spot on the WrestleMania card. And yes, I do agree, Bayley deserved a spot on the WrestleMania card last year, but this year she's been working her way back. So I understand WWE's thinking of saving her for after WrestleMania, give them a big boost for after the big show, or returning star that people are going to want to see, and it creates fresh matchups for after WrestleMania. Alexa Bliss, this was just them dumb. Like they ran out of women and they just had to rush her back at Elimination Chamber when they could have told more of the story. They could have separated these 9 different segments that they filmed in one day instead of giving it to us in 6 weeks, 9 different segments. They could have gave us 9 segments over like 15 weeks, maybe till after WrestleMania, like the go home show to WrestleMania. You say Alexa Bliss is returning to Raw next week on the Raw after WrestleMania to give us some more hooks. Don't let her return at Elimination Chamber and then just you don't even talk about her afterward. You don't even be like she was injured. You used to make up injuries. I miss the days when WWE used to make up injuries for people. Like that's what I said. I said the same thing when they did the whole gimmick with Bobby Lashley because that hurt the Elimination Chamber. And now I'm talking about a different Elimination Chamber match from that same event where they brought someone back who they had no plans with for after just to fill the spot in the Elimination Chamber. You kidding me? You telling me you couldn't put Queen Zelina or Carmella in that match? We really needed Alexa Bliss in that match? Just to see the swing in the pod. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, that's the thing that's I keep going back and forth on this because I'm not going to say neither. I kind of want to say both. Like I want to say both to me because this is WrestleMania, right? Like I get the casual audience, this, that, and the other thing. You have 2 nights, 8 matches on each night, possibly upwards of 20 matches with the pre-show. If you do 2 matches on each 20 matches to fill. You owe Bayley. After leaving her off the WrestleMania card last year. She has not wrestled in front of a crowd in how damn long? And you're going to have 70, 80,000 fans in Jerry's World in Dallas, Texas, that I believe would love to see Bayley back at WrestleMania. If you have a chance to book her for the show, I think, honestly, you owe it to her to book her for the damn show. Put her in a match somewhere, or at least have her return on the card as a surprise something, anything. Get that Hardy Boys level pop. Maybe her and somebody else can get added to the women's tag team match. I don't care. Something involving Bayley needs to happen at this WrestleMania card because you owe it to her to do that. If, again, she's good to go. But the egregious thing here to me is exactly what you laid out with Alexa Bliss. They give us these long drawn out segments that in the end did not go anywhere, did not tell a cohesive story. It didn't make any damn sense. You're trying to cure her, and then in the end, you end up giving her Lily anyway and saying, as long as she's with you, everything is great. So now she's kind of like this hybrid. She's kind of like this hybrid goddess, darkness, Alexa Bliss character. She's still got her swing and everything, but you rush her back for Elimination Chamber. She gets the biggest damn pop of anybody in the women's division, not named Lita, at that event. Crowd was hot for her. You gave her a tremendous showing. She almost beats Bianca Belair in the damn match. And then, much like Bray Wyatt, just disappears. We don't get Lily's Playground. We don't get a promo segment. We don't get a mention. We don't get anything. And now we're getting this report of, oh, we don't really have anything for her for WrestleMania. Then why'd you bring her back? Exactly what you said. You could have put Dana Brooke in the damn match. You could have put Carmella. You could have put Queen Zelina. You could have put literally anybody else on the roster. It would not have mattered because Bianca Belair was going to win that damn thing walking away. It did not matter who that sixth entrant was. Unless the damn Crown Prince specifically requested Alexa Bliss, there was no reason to put her in the damn match. If you weren't going to have any substantial stuff for her to do prior to WrestleMania, you couldn't even bring her out for a dark match or a dark segment in Columbus. How many little girls I saw tweet out photos dressed as Alexa Bliss, ready to see her in Columbus? Here's the pulse, WWE. Here's your finger far away from the pulse, jammed up your ass. Say, would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel? Do you get that reference at all? Please tell me you get that reference. Yes. Okay, thank God. All right, that's why you're my boy, Bleav. That's why you're my boy. So I think for that, I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss on this one. One more for the road, SP3. What are we expecting out of McMahon and McAfee today? Reports are this is going to be a legit interview. Yes, it might still set up some stuff for WrestleMania, but this is supposedly supposed to be Vince McMahon's first legit one-on-one interview in quite some time, and good on Pat McAfee for being the one to get it.
I think it's going to be a serious interview for about 90% of it. The 10% I am referring to where it's not going to be a real interview is the final part where Austin Theory is going to get involved.
And the words right out of my mouth.
It's going to be like a whole big schmoz that has some animosity between McMahon and McAfee to set up a match at WrestleMania, which McAfee will probably continue on SmackDown this week. So there's that.
Whatever it is, it's going to be must watch. And yes, I think Austin Theory is going to get involved based off of what we heard him say on Monday Night Raw. I don't know what he's doing with that pencil. I swear to God, if Austin Theory shows up and stabs Pat McAfee with a pencil, I might scream. Like, if that's how they start this. Like, Vince McMahon probably saw McAfee doing the pencil thing on TV that he does, the flip and catch. And we're like, oh, I got an idea. I can turn this into good shit. I swear to God, if somebody gets stabbed with a pencil, I'm going to lose my damn mind. Thank you for tuning in to all 57 minutes of this half-hour podcast. We really appreciate you guys staying with us. Again, subscribe, share, follow the link. Still got a chance to win $50 to Shop AEW. They couldn't come up with a better name. They just had to take WWE Shop and reverse it and add 3 letters because I get everything damn confused anyway. But Shop AEW. $50. Subscribe. Go to my pinned tweet at Rick Ucchino. Get yourself registered. That includes following this man at True Heel SP3. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Again, tomorrow, 2 of us plus Graham Matthews from Bleacher Report breaking down your entire card. Check out my interview with Jimmy Wang Yang up on the YouTube channel right now. Go do it. Good stuff. You've been listening to the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast brought to you by Bet Online.